to help customers with a range of tasks like home monitoring and keeping in touch with family members. Amazon also has several other robots that help businesses with their tasks. This includes autonomous robots in warehouses and robots for delivery. Elon Musk's Tesla bot, which was unveiled several weeks earlier, was designed with most of the same technology for Tesla's autonomous vehicles. While the bot was designed to handle dangerous, repetitive, and boring tasks in extreme working environments, there are concerns that these bots will eventually replace more jobs in the market. While Amazon and Tesla are busy developing humanoid robots to make lives easier for humans in the future, Huawei has also been busy behind the scenes. The Chinese technology company, which has been constantly viewed as a threat in the US, has developed its first virtual human. Called Yunsheng, the virtual human is also the company's first virtual human employee. According to reports, Huawei developed Yunsheng by using AI automatic modeling, AI voice drive, and AI rendering acceleration. These three technologies helped Huawei to form a perfect virtual human. During the official introduction at Huawei Connect 2021, Yunsheng introduced Huawei Cloud use cases in a different and funky manner. It's still uncertain as to what type of job the virtual human will actually do at Huawei, but from the looks of it, Yunsheng is only the mainstream trendsetter of what will eventually be more virtual humans in the future, with more capabilities. In fact, judging by its demo during the summit, the virtual human may just improve customer experiences in e-commerce. With Astro, Optimus, and Yunsheng showcasing how they work with humans, the question now is, what will humans do if everything is being done for them? Will humans finally be able to have machines take over all mundane tasks and spend the rest of their lives doing more quality work, or will it only lead to humans becoming lazier, as technology does everything for them? AI is already enabling robots to read, write and learn. Deep learning AI is enabling machines to do a lot more and make more accurate decisions. 5G is enabling machines to be connected stronger more than ever before. Digital currency is becoming more valuable than actual money. Most technologists would feel that humans will eventually still be in control of their own lives, and have downplayed most of the scenarios in Hollywood robotic films. The reality is, though, robots are slowly taking over jobs and increasing their presence around us. They are watching humans and learning new skills. They are predicting what we need and what we want. They are also providing our health and how we live. Only time will tell if these machines will take over the world. As the COVID-19 pandemic enveloped the world last year, businesses increasingly turned to automation in order to address rapidly changing conditions. Floor cleaning, microbe zapping disinfecting robots were introduced in hospitals, supermarkets and other environments. Some enterprises found that, given the new emphasis on hygiene and social distancing, offering robotic operations instead. The American fast food chain White Castle began using hamburger cooking robots in an effort to create an avenue for reduced human contact with food during the cooking process. All of this has created a powerful incentive for businesses to invest in automation as a way to adapt to the worker shortage. As British farms confront the absence of seasonal workers who once flooded in from Eastern Europe, interest in agricultural robots is growing. The UK-based startup Small Robot Company, for example, has developed 2 robots capable of killing weeds in wheat fields, while cutting down dramatically on the use of chemical pesticides. The first robot autonomously prowls a wheat field, and with precision and patience that no human could match, it analyzes each individual wheat plant using several cameras, mapping the exact locations where weeds are beginning to encroach. Once this data has been collected, a second, somewhat frightening, 5-armed robot follows, killing the weeds by administering a powerful electric shock. Over the course of a decade or more, however, the overall impact of artificial intelligence and robotics on the job market is likely to be significant. In some specific areas, the technologies may lead to dramatic change within the next few years. Many workers will soon confront the reality that the encroachment of automation technology will not be limited to the often low-paying. In the long run, as advancing technology shapes our post-pandemic future, the workforce will increasingly be divided into winners and losers. The losers will be those who focus largely on routine, predictable tasks, regardless of whether these activities are physical or intellectual in nature and often independent of education level. This is Ricci. The robot is an expressive open-source humanoid platform programmable with Python. He is particularly good at interacting with people. You can take control of Ricci remotely wherever you are, and test any application in any environment, immediately. With its brilliant program software, you can teach the robot how to perform advanced tasks using a VR kit. Back in 2013, Pollen Robotics started with Poppy, the first 3D printed open-source humanoid robot, and since then they have been dedicated to creating open source, open science and open data products. They work with scientists, artists and innovators to explore usages, and make the robotic revolution an available opportunity for everyone. Here are the key features of this incredible humanoid robot. Open source hardware and software. 7DOF's bio-inspired arm with modular gripper. Expressive head animated by our unique orbitospherical joint. Software based on ROS2 with Python SDK. Dual 1080p at 30 fps camera with motorized zoom, FOV 65 degrees to 125 degrees. Powerful internal computer Nuke Intel i3 dual-core 2.1 GHz with 8GB DDR4 and 256GB SSD. The company released the first version of Ricci at last year's CES. Remember? That was before most of us even knew COVID existed. To illustrate this, they made it play tic-tac-toe at CES and it was quite a success. We all know that many robots are providing bridges to ROS but without really pushing the integration deeper. The company let you use all standard ROS tools with Ricci, with a focus on manipulation, as this is why Ricci has been designed for in the first place. This package contains the relationship between all links and joints of the robot, including their joint limit properties as loaded from the URDF. It is used by all visualization and trajectory planning tools in ROS. They also provide inertial and mass values. The collision model is defined with simpler shapes as cylinders, so you can achieve accurate and fast simulation. Of course, 3D models of the robot's parts are also present. Move It is a motion planning framework. It runs on top of RAWs and provides functionality to make manipulation easier. Within this package, you will find all the configuration files needed to start using Move It with Ricci and plan complex trajectories. A Zacro file has also been written to define which groups are used, depending on the version of Ricci you use: advanced, expressive, or basic. This German startup company, Fruit Core Robotics, has raised €17 million to enable automation with industrial robots for the masses. Fruit Core Robotics is a Constance-based startup developed Horst, highly optimized robotic systems technology, a robotic system which leverages intelligent software and innovative mechatronics. The software maps the entire application via a digital twin. The powerful and inexpensive robot transfers the application one-to-one into reality. The startup was founded in 2017, and less than 2 years after their market launch, Fruit Core robotic systems are already automating several hundred different applications in 10 industries. In order to continue growing internationally, the company has now raised €17 million in funding. The German startup has rethought the entire robotic system and achieved several innovations in this field. With Horst, the deep tech company has combined the advantages of collaborative and conventional systems, the performance of industrial robots with the ease of use of cobots, and has been able to significantly reduce costs. Another major advantage for the user comes from the simple and intuitive operation of the robots, for which no programming knowledge is required. Horst can be used across almost all sectors and industries, for loading and unloading machines, for stacking, sorting and packaging products, for handling turned, milled and stamped parts, but also for pick and place applications for small parts. With the new capital, the deep tech company plans to expand its European presence and extend its digital services. A robot alone cannot yet automate an application. It requires an intelligent linking of various components such as grippers, CNC systems or safety systems. With our software, we network these components more strongly than has been common in the industry to date, thereby making the entire application intuitively operable, digital, and even affordable. Today, Fruit Core systems already provide control of the entire robotic environment, seamlessly integrating the physical application onto a digital platform. In the future, extensions to the software and online platform will make numerous applications automatable via plug and play. Fruit Core Robotics originates from a spin-off of the HTWG Konstanz, Hochschule Konstanz Technik Wirtschaft und Gestaltung. After research work by Jens Rieger and Manuel Frey in the robotics field, the first Horst prototypes were produced in 2016. The team received the Exist Gründer Stipendium. AI has come a long way and is assisting us more and more into our workspaces, shopping centers, and now even into our living spaces. People tend to desire changes in life, and that includes changes to their surrounding home spaces. The numbers speak for themselves. According to Global Marketing Insights, the home improvement market exceeded $762.9 billion in 2020, and will grow at 4.3% from 2021 to 2027. Sometimes, the annual trip to IKEA for a new sofa doesn't bring happiness anymore, and a more radical intervention is required. Most people would engage a professional interior designer, but they're expensive, and it's hard to find the right one for your style. Imagine an infinitely knowledgeable designer that serves thousands of clients. In order to completely apply artificial intelligence technologies to home improvement, you must meet a few prerequisites. First of all, AI needs data, and it's fitting that we're slowly moving toward digital copies of everything we have, including our homes. The world is adopting the BIM standard, which is basically a digital blueprint that also includes metadata. All details are embedded into the architectural plan, digitized and standardized. That helps architects and construction companies optimize cost breakdown at any object in the house. Most new buildings are digitized that way and built according to BIM standards, but even older buildings could be processed in this way after the fact. Digitizing housing that have already been built is a big market, presenting a huge opportunity for any company. At some point, everyone will have a digital image of their living space, with a serial number assigned to each object therein. Wayfair, a company that sells furniture and household goods, is building a new industrial format that will include a digital image of your house, including all its furniture. And a number of companies, including Google, Amazon, Target and IKEA, are on board. They don't want to sell you a sofa. They want to learn what kind of home you have and what else they can offer to you. All these digitized objects from the real world raw data, and machine learning algorithms thrive on data. With the help of big data, companies will have the opportunity to offer a timely replacement for light bulbs, appliances or outdated furniture. Amazon wants to send you a bag of laundry detergent as soon as you're out of it. Furniture and appliance companies are similar. With the help of computer vision, AI can already help find relevant furniture from the catalogs, and predict the best location for it based on your particular apartment, your window placement, the time when the sun rises in your area, and so on. No human designer, albeit the most competent one, can match it. Even though the concept of BIM has been in development since the 1970s, it only became mainstream in the last 2 decades. And while governments around the world are beginning to demand fully collaborative 3D BIM assets, along with all project and asset information, documentation and data being electronic for new projects. There are companies, like Matterport, that specialize in creating digital floor plans for homes and apartments. A schematic floor plan for a single unit, from what I've seen in the market, costs $12.99. There are around 29 million households in the UK alone, so you can calculate the price. But in order to leverage this data through machine learning, we need more than floor plans. Ideally, we'd love to have exact schematics of what's happening behind walls, and know the types of floor tiles and light bulbs you have. It's not really possible to collect all that metadata for pre-existing households. The only option is to work with developers from the start, and ensure they collect and provide this data in advance. In fact, current BIM standards don't even focus on the inside of your apartment, and its furniture and devices. We, as an industry, would first have to work on augmenting these standards, or creating a unified standard outlining the exact interior of living spaces. In fact, this opens up a new line of business for real estate developers. Right now these workers focus on acquiring land and building houses to sell, but their relationships with customers stop there. In a world where every company is looking for recurring revenue, developers can begin by digitizing the environments they build, and making them accessible through an app. Imagine that you've rented or just bought an apartment, and a light bulb in your kitchen has suddenly died. Nobody ever remembers what kind of a light bulb they have, as they die so rarely these days. In an ideal world, you'd open an app provided by your developer, and see a perfect digital representation of your apartment with tags on every object. You'd see what kind of a lamp you need to buy, and might get a set of offers from nearby stores. To see this future to fruition, developers would need to rebuild their entire businesses. You can't just give an AutoCAD file to your customers. They need a nice-looking consumer app loaded with that data. Developers don't have the necessary expertise, and most likely, they will need to find a partner to create a fully digital lifestyle experience, or build this expertise internally. With recent advancements in technology such as AI and blockchain, this is all now becoming a real future we can come to expect. Any company working in the manufacturing industry is aware that AI has been making significant improvements with a number of applications. In today's one, we take a look into how the future of artificial intelligence is shaping the manufacturing industry as we know it. From using it to determine when machines need servicing, to enforcing quality control on products. Using AI in manufacturing industry settings is undoubtedly beneficial. But what exactly does this mean for the future? And how does that apply to your business? Let's delve a little deeper into the facts. To gain a better understanding of how things could potentially be moving forward with artificial intelligence in manufacturing, let's first consider where it all began. Looking into the history, you will find that it wasn't long ago that humans began implementing artificial intelligence in business. Innovation in AI grew significantly during the 1960s, and the first industrial robot, Unimate, worked on a general assembly line during this decade. Even then, humans had been developing AI as early as 300 years ago. While the industry and usage of AI has certainly changed and evolved since then, seeing where it began is quite interesting and worth noting when looking to the future. Of course, our usage of AI in modern-day manufacturing is an important consideration too, if only to understand how it has evolved over the last 60 years and the situation we find ourselves in now. The manufacturing industry itself has certainly been revolutionized by the progression of AI and how companies can use it. From helping to predict potential issues in a product, to price forecasting, efficiency in managing inventory and much more, the benefits are seemingly endless. A large portion of the industry already uses AI. When you consider how it has evolved in just the past few years, it's clear to see why so many businesses are keen to get involved. So it's worth taking the future potential of AI into account too. As it continues to change and improve, there's no doubt that it will become even more of a necessity. While it's impossible to predict how artificial intelligence will evolve and how it will impact manufacturing businesses of the future, we can certainly try to look ahead. There are several things that we can do if we want to learn more about the future of AI and its capabilities in the industry. For example, looking at the Manufacturing Made Smarter Challenge. We can see that there are already goals to improve productivity in businesses across the UK, to deal with common issues that could be solved with AI software. As technology is developed to combat new challenges, artificial intelligence will continue to improve the manufacturing sector, and many more niches besides, and that's certainly an attractive notion. Seeing how much it has impacted manufacturing processes and companies as a whole, especially in more recent years with the significant growth in AI technology, it's interesting to speculate where things will be in even just a few years. Regardless of what the future brings, it's well worth thinking about how the technology available today could be implemented within your own business. If you're not using any artificial technology at all, or at least use it for small purposes, consider the different ways that it could benefit your daily processes. With more than half of businesses in the industry making use of AI in a wide variety of ways, there are likely to be a few things that artificial intelligence could do for you. From cost effectiveness to efficiency, it has the potential to enhance several aspects of a business in this sector. And if you want to take advantage of the future advancements, it might be worthwhile making a start now. In 2022, we will see artificial intelligence continue along the path to becoming the most transformative technology humanity has ever developed. According to Google CEO Sundar Pichai, its impact will be even greater than that of fire or electricity on our development as a species. This may seem like a very ambitious claim, but considering it is already being used to help us tackle climate change, explore space, and develop treatments for cancer, the potential is clearly there. The full scale of the impact that giving machines the ability to make decisions, and therefore enable decision-making to take place far more quickly and accurately than could ever be done by humans, is very difficult to conceive right now. But one thing we can be certain of is that in 2022 breakthroughs and new developments will continue to push the boundaries of what's possible. Here's my pick of the key areas and fields where those breakthroughs will occur in 2022. The augmented workforce. There have always been fears that machines or robots will replace human workers, and even make some roles redundant. However, as companies navigate the process of creating data and AI-literate cultures within their teams, we will increasingly find ourselves working with or alongside machines that use smart and cognitive functionality to boost our own abilities and skills. In some functions, such as marketing, we're already used to using tools that help us determine which leads are worth pursuing and what value we can expect from potential customers. In engineering roles, AI tools help us by providing predictive maintenance. In knowledge industries, such as law, we will increasingly use tools that help us sort through the ever-growing amount of data that's available to find the nuggets of information that we need for a particular task. In just about every occupation, smart tools and services are emerging that can help us do our jobs more efficiently and in 2022 more of us will find that they are a part of our everyday working lives. Language modeling is a process that allows machines to understand, or even take natural human languages, and turn them into computer code that can run programs and applications. We have recently seen the release of GPT-3 by OpenAI, the most advanced and largest language model ever created. Consisting of around 175 billion parameters, variables, and data points that machines can use to process language. OpenAI is known to be working on a successor, GPT-4, that will be even more powerful. Although details haven't been confirmed, some estimate that it may contain up to 100 trillion parameters, making it 500 times larger than GPT-3, and in theory taking a big step closer to being able to create language and hold conversations that are indistinguishable from those of a human. It will also become much better at creating computer code. AI in cybersecurity. This year, the World Economic Forum identified cybercrime as potentially posing a more significant risk to society than terrorism. As machines take over more of our lives, hacking and cybercrime inevitably become more of a problem. As every connected device you add to a network is inevitably a potential point of failure that an attacker could use against you. As networks of connected devices become more complex, identifying those points of failure becomes more complex. This is where AI can play a role though. By analyzing network traffic and learning to recognize patterns that suggest nefarious intentions, smart algorithms are increasingly playing a role in keeping us safe from 21st century crime. AI in the metaverse. The metaverse is the name given for a unified, persistent digital environment where users can work and play together. It's a virtual world, like the internet, but with the emphasis on enabling immersive experiences. Often created by the users themselves. The concept has become a hot topic since Mark Zuckerberg spoke about creating it by combing virtual reality technology with the social foundations of his Facebook platform. AI will undoubtedly be a linchpin of the metaverse. It will help to create online environments where humans will feel at home and having their creative impulses nurtured. We will also most likely become used to sharing our metaverse environments with AI beings that will help us with tasks we're there to do, or just be our partner for a game of tennis or chess when we want to relax and unwind. A big barrier to the adoption of AI-driven efficiency in many companies is the scarcity of skilled AI engineers who can create the necessary tools and algorithms. No-code and low-code solutions aim to overcome this by offering simple interfaces that can be used, in theory, to construct increasingly complex AI systems. Much like the way web design and no-code UI tools now let users create web pages and other interactive systems simply by dragging and dropping graphical elements together, no-code AI systems will let us create smart programs by plugging together different pre-made modules and feeding them with our own domain-specific data. Technologies such as natural language processing and language modeling mean that soon it may be possible to use nothing more than our voice or written instructions. This will play a key role in the ongoing democratization of AI and data tech. AI is the brains that will guide the autonomous cars, boats, and aircraft that are set to revolutionize travel and society over the coming decade. 2022 should be a year to remember when we look back in the future and contemplate with horror the fact that we thought it was normal that 1.3 million people died of traffic accidents every year, 90% of which were caused by human error, as well as increasingly effective autonomous cars. Tesla says its cars will demonstrate full self-driving capability by 2022, although it's unlikely they will be ready for general use. Its competitors include Waymo, created by Google, Apple, GM, and Ford. And any of them can be expected to announce major leaps forward in the next year. The year will hopefully also see the first autonomous ship crossing the Atlantic, as the Mayflower autonomous ship. We know that AI can be used to create art, music, poetry, plays, and even video games. In 2022, as new models such as GPT-4 and Google's Brain redefine the boundaries of what's possible, we can expect more elaborate and seemingly natural creative output from our increasingly imaginative and capable electronic friends. Rather than these creations generally being demonstrations or experiments to show off the potential of AI, as is the case now, in 2022. We will increasingly see them applied to routine creative tasks, such as writing headlines for articles and newsletters, designing logos and infographics, Creativity is often seen as a very human skill. And the fact we are now seeing these capabilities emerging in machines means artificial intelligence is undeniably coming closer in terms of scope and function to the somewhat nebulous concept we have of what constitutes real intelligence.